Hello stock traders, I hope all of you have survived today. The backdrop I have going on today's video is the S&P 500, the SPY ETF, and this is the daily chart. So you can see that this has been a very difficult time in the market, and I've been through many corrections in the past, and I have a certain plan of attack that I use that has helped me to mitigate my losses and control my risk. So in today's video, I am going to go through my plan of attack. And this is how I handle a bear market, or what may be the beginnings of a bear market like we are seeing right now. Boy, we have seen a massive price pressure downwards here throughout the day. And this market has been especially tough because what it's doing is it is typically in the mornings as hope and retail investors are getting in. The market is surging and trapping so many bulls into the market, and then we're having a heavy sell-off later in the day. One clue that this might be happening to you is to watch the European markets. If you see the European markets dip and dip heavily throughout the day, you can expect for the same thing to happen in the US markets, or at least I have found that to be the case. Well, in today's video, I'm going to kind of talk about that, and I'm going to talk about some other things as we get going. So you will want to stay till the end of the video. But before I get going, if you could do me a favor and please hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you haven't done so before, please subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you get notified when a new video comes out. I do have a Patreon group if you want my buy and sell alerts, which have been just so far this year. It has been tough. I don't know anyone who's had any call outs here lately that have been wildly successful. But if you are looking for my buy and sell call outs, then the best place to do that is in the Patreon group. We have a link in the description down below. Now, I have 3 stocks that I sold. Sold ASO for a 3.97% loss, sold KIRK for a 2.45% loss, and sold WRBY for a 3.3% loss. All 3 of those had hit the exit point as part of my strategy, and so I exited those. Okay, so let's start by talking about the SPY. And you can see this movement that we've had right here. So typically when the market starts to do this, when I exit a position, I am leaving that cash available and on the sidelines. I am looking for a bottom to the overall market, and for me to at least be confident that the market is safe enough for me to enter. And so I have a cash that I'm accumulating that is sitting on the sidelines ready to take advantage of ridiculous levels. Now, what do I think ridiculous levels are? I think 411 on the SPY is a ridiculous level. So that's something I'm kind of watching for. Another thing I'm kind of watching for is you can see this gap down here. So I think the 435 level may be a very strong level of support. Now the market is really breaking down and we're really kind of losing. But the next big area of support that I like is going to be 411. If we get down there, we're talking about critical value levels where blood is in the streets, and this is the time to buy in my opinion at that point. So I will look for stocks that fit the catalyst, the strategies that I like. Once we get to that level, but as I exit stocks and exit out of positions, now I don't panic sell. All 3 of these stocks that I told you about, I exited in the morning during that morning push when the optimism is highest. So, and that's how you want to plan it. You want to plan one of these surges as a way to exit stocks. You want to pick the best time. For me, what I found is 50 minutes into the trading day is statistically, or close to statistically, one of the best times to sell on price strength. As everyone's excited and the market starts to bounce as it did this morning, this was an opportunity to exit some positions on some price strength, and I was very glad that I did because throughout the day they continued to go downwards. Now, on other stocks that have not hit my exit point as part of my strategy, for example, I have long-term stocks. I am not looking to exit those. Most of those I'm earning a dividend on. I'm just going to hold them. I'm not even thinking about that. The exit point would be if the company cut their dividend, or if it became ridiculously overbought on the daily chart. And that is not happening right now. But I'm going to go through some of my highest conviction plays and talk about why I'm still in them. So I have a lot of them. The very first one is safe hold. Now I've held this for a long period of time, and yes, it's getting killed. Yes, it's getting killed, but iStar continues to load shares. Also, there's been some really good news on this stock come out, and that they have added Chicago. So not only are they doing land leases for New York, but they're doing it for Chicago. So I like this one to continue as long as the insider activity is continuing in. This is a low volume stock, so 50,000 shares being bought by iStar each and every business day should provide some pressure and help this stock along the way. Now this stock got a price target cut, and it was a pretty big one today, but they definitely aren't paying attention to the insider activity, because I can't imagine an analyst cutting a stock that has such a large insider activity each and every day. But that's exactly what they did. People reacted. There was a big sell-off on the stock throughout the day where it bounced everywhere. Another stock I have high conviction in is Bitfarm. I'm fine to hold through this. I'm way down in this stock, but I've made so much money on this stock in the past. I am not so worried about it, in that I know that right now Bitcoin is at a crazy value level, and it's really good, and it's been bouncing, and certain things that I look for in Bitcoin as a reason to buy Bitcoin, and there are some cryptocurrencies that I play around with. I do lots of mining and some other things, but I like Bitfarm to eventually move upwards, for there to eventually be some buying pressure, especially if stocks become kind of a headache and people want to go to something of great value. Right now, BTC is a really good value priced. So as long as there isn't any negative news on that, I expect Bitfarm to start to climb along with Bitcoin. The next is MediaCo, and this is number 3 on my top 7 list that came out on Monday. And now this stock I have very high conviction in. Insider activity is continuing, and there was more insider activity even in these rocky times. Reported in aftermarket on Thursday, and so I'm very bullish on this. I don't plan on exiting it. There are certain things to watch for that I would watch for that would be an exit point. One is if it became way overbought on the chart. But I like this one for the power that it has. It's been on a really, really nice run. I'm way up in it, and not looking to exit it until that insider activity slows down. The next one is Vox, and Vox has had insider activity by Collie Holding and by Avalon Park Holding. And so this is really, I think, going to pick up some speed as this insider activity. They have a history of buying when it's a really good deal, and so they must feel it's a really good deal right now. They are loading shares, so I have high conviction in this stock. I think that this one is a good one to hold. Another is Asana. I talked about this the other day, and it's at a fantastic values. This is kind of ridiculous, the amount of insider activity that's been done by the CEO. This has just been beaten up. I am in it really, really, really good. I don't want to let go of that average, as I feel that this is way, way oversold. And then there's Eton Pharma from the top 7 list. We have not hit the exit point as part of my PDUFA strategy. This one, though, I might find an exit point and leave soon, because we are starting to get pretty close to that PDUFA date. AGIO is another one that I plan on holding. And one I haven't talked about that I need to talk about the most is this GLSI. And so if you haven't heard of this stock, this is a really great opportunity to get in on a stock and on a company that is working towards the cure of cancer. And they have had successful trial right now in their breast cancer trial, and they even reported a 100% remission rate last year, and the stock jumped from right around $5 a share to $160 a share on that news that they had 100% remission. Now since then it has calmed down, and it's come down slowly throughout the year, and now with this pullback it's all the way down to $17.23. Insiders are loading this like crazy, and they're doing very sneaky insider buys, and it's lots and lots of different officers. And so I feel confident that this stock is way oversold with how the insiders are acting and how their purchases are. All of them have been open market. They could have good news come out. And I love how this one moved in the past, and so I'm looking for it to move in the future. So I believe heavily in this company, so buying it at around the $17 range is kind of ridiculous to me. So I've been loading this on dips, and today it dipped more, and I continue to just buy it up. So I want to kind of show you that big move that it had, and it actually got all the way. This is not showing, that was actually April 2021. That's not the one. Here it is. Okay, so here is where they announced that they had 100% remission rate in their phase 3 trial. This thing went nuts. It went to $158 before. I think a lot of investors have forgotten about this stock and the crazy 2,400% run it had. But here's the thing about this stock. It had massive insider activity all the way through here. Just massive, massive buys. Now, the buys aren't as big this time, but the return of insiders buying tells me, and in the past, insiders had bought up shares close to an announcement here. And so I'm expecting the same thing. And we've seen insider activity all the way through here. There's been insider activity by multiple officers. I know that this is so tough. It can be so hard to, stick with it, stick with trading. But I want to encourage you to stick with it. If you have great trading strategies, you can protect yourself from downside here. It's very important to diversify your portfolio. Anyone who tells you that that isn't important and that you can the only way to make big gains in the market is to risk it all, that's just not smart. You will destroy your account. And so even though I've had a tough time this year, I'm very well diversified and I'm down 8% in my portfolio. That is not typical, definitely, for me. The diversification has really helped me. And also that each and every stock that I'm in, I know why I'm in it. So you must know why you are in the stock that you're in. You can't just be guessing. You can't just be saying, I'm in this, it's going to go to the moon, and just because I think it's going to do that, that it's going to do that. Well, that is not how the market works. It's best to have a plan. A farmer doesn't walk out into a field and just randomly throw seed on the ground at the wrong time of the year. They have a plan. You need to have a plan for each and every stock that you are in. It is so important, and you will reap what you sow if you follow those very strong steps and have the discipline to wait and be out of the market when things like this are happening. Anyway, hopefully this has helped you, that this video has helped you. Please reach out to me in the comment section down below. I wish you all the best in the stock market. And Raythoven out.